Stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet, stone vet. The stone vet, the stone vet, the stone vet, the stone vet, the stone vet. I hit the ground running when I'm invading your country.
What's up, guys? Sergeant G here from the STONED VET USMC. Dude, it's been forever since I've done this, man. I'm super excited to be here with you guys today, man. I've had the honor, dude. Like I tell you guys, look. I told you guys it's about building your community on a regular basis. That's why I tell you guys, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you have to build your community around you, right? See, a lot of these people, you guys remember James. I had James on not too long ago, a few months ago. I had him on the show about what he's doing with VetMaps, dude. I just met a new freaking brother here, Noah. Noah here reached out to me and said, dude, I got a guy running for Congress that wants to come on your show. I'm like, who the fuck is Noah to message you? Who is this guy messaging me? Why is this guy messaging me? But everybody knows, you guys already know because of you, my listeners, that I am a 2-time award-winning podcast. I didn't even bring the awards with me, dude. I've had the wonderful opportunity. Mr. Noah here went through, and guess what? You guys see that beautiful logo behind me? We've had the honor of Life Organics. It's a dispensary here in Oklahoma that said, yeah, we can host the Stone Vet, man. How freaking honored am I to be able to be here in you guys' presence.
And
to be
me
able
too.
to do
Thank
this,
you
man.
very much.
Thank you guys so much for this wonderful opportunity to be able to come here. And right, one of the biggest things that I'm fighting for is federal legalization. You guys that are listening in around the world, I think it's in 37 different countries right now. Around the world, you guys don't understand, like here in America, we have some of the craziest crap going on right now, dude. If you guys have been watching the news or listening, you can carry a gun wherever you want, anywhere in this country now. They overturned Roe versus Wade, regardless of what your platform is and where you stand on that. That's on you, but that's on you. I don't want to hear it because I know my stance is on it, and a lot of people are against what I stand for. But that's on you. But there's a difference happening in our country right now, and a lot of you guys are like, what? This is why I follow Congress. This is why I follow what's going on in our legislation, right? The biggest thing we know in July, they're supposed to be pushing for federal legalization. Why not now? Everything that's going on in our country right now with allowing us to be able to carry what we want, the overturn of a 50-year crime that had been happening in our country has been overturned. And now why not fight for federal legalization? This is what I tell you guys on a regular basis. Get to your capital, start talking to your senators, start talking to your representatives. Here in Oklahoma, on Tuesday, June 28th, is a time to vote for Senate. It's time to vote for Congress. Who do we want in Congress here in Oklahoma? I don't know how it is in other states. I'm sure it's probably the same way or it's coming up close or whatever. But in Oklahoma, it's a big push, dude. It's everywhere. You see it everywhere. Signs are everywhere. People are talking about it, man. So this is what my honor is. I told you guys it'd probably be July when I got back to you guys, but I'm coming back a little bit early because I've been requested to come back. I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Rafa 180, like I tell you guys on every episode, man. Rafa 180 provides you the best medicinal grade CBD, and this is what I love about living in Oklahoma because all my CBD is processed right here in Oklahoma City. So I can go to the lab and watch how it's processed step by step from plant to oil. And this is what I love about Rafa 180. It's always providing the best medicinal THC-free grade CBD. Because some of you, if you like me, I work for the federal government. You guys already know that I'm still on probation until November. I cannot touch THC until November. Super frustrating,
We'll
right?
take care of that for you.
And so the majority of you guys understand, if you guys work in a position where you can't have THC, but you need you need plant-based medicine that will help, right? Rafa 180 CBD is 100% THC free, and it can help you deal with your ailments. Like I say, if you guys aren't following me on my Facebook page, I'm always putting new information about CBD and how it helps because nobody really understands what is CBD and how does it work. If you go to nih.gov, yes, .gov, government website, and type in endocannabinoid system, it's going to break it out for you and tell you the importance of the endocannabinoid system and how we have an endocannabinoid system. So go check out Rafa180.com. That's Romeo Alpha, Papa Hotel Alpha 180.com to get all your medicinal grade CBD needs. And we check out with the STONED VET USMC, you get 20% off. Oh, 20? Yeah, 20% off the entire purchase, dude. That's a legit discount, dude. Super excited, man. So I'm super excited to be here. Look at that. I got my new swags out. I got my new swag from a local artist here in Oklahoma who's been hitting up dispensaries like crazy, dude. Go check that out, dude. It's at the
Love it.
website as well, dude. It's a freaking amazing. It's amazing, dude. It's about supporting each other, right?
Amen.
It's about supporting the small business owners. It's about supporting. We got to support ourselves from the inside because you guys have already seen it. What Biden signed over like another $5.8 billion to Ukraine. That money's not coming here to help us. We have to help our own people and our own resources in our local area. That's the only way we're going to survive, man. I'm super excited to be here. Like I said, you guys have seen Noah. I got Noah over here to my right, maybe to your left. I got James. And I got another jarhead in my presence, Mr. Clint here. Another jarhead running for U.S. Congress, dude. I'm super excited. How you doing today, Clint?
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good, man. So I'm super excited because, like I tell you guys, I love when I can bring my brothers on the show, right? Because I tell you guys, I don't go to counseling. I don't believe in counselors. I don't like them, right? I've been through so many counselors, and it sucks because then you get comfortable, and then they get a new job, or they get promoted, or whatever. And then guess what? They're like, "Oh, I got somebody you could talk to," and you're like, "Great, now I got to open up about all the crap I've already opened up about," you know. And my wife tells me, she's like, "You need to find a good counselor." I said, "Why? I don't want to open up again. I've already opened up 1,500 times, you know." And
It's like trying to watch a movie with your wife.
you know, and so this is one of the things I tell you guys about is that this is what you guys are supposed to do is to build your community, right? This is my counseling session where I'm able to do that. Like you guys know, I've been out for I think since May. I stopped recording, so I haven't had any counseling since May. So and life is tough, dude. Like you guys already know, life is super hard, right? And so I'm super honored to be here with Clint today. Clint here is another jarhead running for U.S. Congress. U.S. Congress, guys. Like this is the stuff I'm telling you guys about. If you guys are sitting at home, you're like, what should I be doing? What can I do? Like I tell you guys, if I go to a state and there's no cannabis in your state, I'm gonna be upset with you guys. You guys are gonna be. I'm gonna be upset because what are you guys? Are you guys even at your capital fighting for legalization in your state? You know, and I understand you got big states like California and Texas and New York, right? It's hard to get to the capital, right? But like I told you guys when I had David Bass on the show not too long ago, he said, start local. Start with your local state representative. Start with your local freaking Senate. People who are in your district. Start reaching out to them and say, look, this is important. We need to fight this because every state is different when it comes to putting something on a ballot, right? So in Oklahoma right now, we're currently getting signatures for November because in November, we're talking about getting adult use, recreational use in Oklahoma, which will be great, right? It'll be great for those of us that don't want to get the medical card, right? And there's a lot of benefits, you know. But this is Oklahoma, right? People are like, Oklahoma got freaking weed in their state? Are you kidding me? Yes.
Can I tell you something real fast?
Go ahead.
Went to the state capitol 3 weeks ago. Had a whole lot of flyers. Took them from the second floor to the fifth floor. Both sides. Democrat, Republican. Didn't matter. Senators, Congress, all. Okay? Connie put it on her whatever you call it, her platform on her running. Stint sent me a deal saying it conflicted with his schedule. Nobody else sent not a one thing. I don't want to cuss. Not one thing. And nobody showed up out there. It's hot. I get it. And Connie apologized because it was hot. But we got Mr. Stint here. Clint Johnson here. And he's running. And he's very sincere. He says very honest. And he's pro-cannabis. He's a veteran. He's for us. Right. You know, he's for us to medicate in a medicated state that allows it. All I'm asking is that they remove the tax for the veterans on the cards. The 2250, the 10450, get rid of it. Let me medicate these veterans, put cards in their hands instead of weapons or the hate and the yelling. You give them 2 hits off a joint. My brother John, PTSD, 19 years service. 2 hits off a joint. He's nice as fuck. No joint, don't go in his house without knocking because he'll shoot you. Okay? That's simple. Help us medicate. Thank you.
No, but absolutely. So, Clint, why don't you give the audience, let the audience know a little bit about you, about your journey. Let them figure out who is Clint. Why am I listening to Clint today?
Well, first off, let me start by saying this. A while ago, you said everybody needs to get out and do something,
right?
And join your local politics, whatever you do. I thought I was retired. I raise horses in the middle of the woods in Tahlequah, and I love my horses. I never want to do it, but I'm sick of the way the country's going. I started running because the politicians lie to us. They don't do a thing for us. They don't do nothing for anybody out here, and they cut themselves off from everybody out here. And they're our elected leaders. They shouldn't be telling you they're not coming. We voted them in office.
That's exactly right. No, you're absolutely right, Clint. And that's one of the things that pisses me off the most is that I think what happens is that you guys have been watching DC, right? You watch all the U.S. Senates, right? You're like, that the average salary of a U.S. Senate is about $160,000 is what the U.S. government pays them, right? $160,000 a
They get a
year.
raise.
Plus per diem.
They get a raise.
Plus per diems and raises and whatever else, right? My thing is when you got a U.S. Senate or a House of Representative and they walked away with like $8.5 million that year, $1 billion that year, $20 million that year, and you're like, how the fuck are you walking away with all this money, right? How in the world are you walking away with all this money? And all we pay you is $100,000+ a year, $200,000 a year, right? And my thing is that I think what happens is that they forget how they got in that position, right? One of the things like people told me when Trump was elected president, they're like, well, how do you feel about that? I said, all that tells me is that if you have enough money and you have enough people with enough money that back you, you can do whatever you want in this entire country. Hands down. And you guys know that, right? The billionaires run this country, right? The middle class is what keeps the country running, but the people who make billions of dollars do whatever they want in this country because they have the money to do it. And it's super frustrating. It's like you're saying, Clint, when you got Senate, when you got Congress, when you got House of Representatives, when you got everybody working, I think they forget that they work for us.
Exactly.
Right? They work for us.
Yep.
There's a reason why you're in there. And this is what I tell people, right? And so I'm super upset with some senators here in the state because they voted against my psilocybin research bill when they told me they would vote yes for it. They're veterans as well. And I was like, so you voted against a research project that was deemed to help. We know the studies, the scientific studies that have already been done on psilocybin. There's already been hundreds of studies done already outside of this. This was going to help us do our own local research for our veteran community. And they voted against it because they didn't like the wording. They thought it was going to be another 788. Well, there's no sales. It's a 100% research project. That's all it was a 100% research project. There was no sales. No sales were going to happen from this. It was just a complete research project.
And they wouldn't.
And they voted against it. So now I got to wait till 2024 to put it back on the ballot again.
That's ridiculous, man.
So I got to wait 2 more years. And a lot of people, so this is one of the things you guys know I talk about on a regular basis, right? Everybody in the entire free world knows 22 veterans take their life every day. Everybody knows that, right? Oklahoma has the highest veteran suicide rate, sitting at about 27 a day right now.
Right.
27 a day.
It's sad.
But nobody ever talks about the 35 who die from opioid addiction every day on top of the 22, right? And nobody understands this. And everybody's always like, why is R&G always talking about plant-based medicine, plant-based medicine? Because, let me tell you right now, because it works.
Well, and
I'm here.
the pills
It works.
is a Band-Aid,
Right?
and that's all it is. I mean, I had back surgeries, neck surgery from Iraq, and they want to just stuff you with pills.
Yeah.
Here and there. And I try to wean off of those things because I don't like taking those things. I haven't taken the marijuana stuff yet, and that'd be something I consider if I get more pain. But I've talked to several vets out there. I just came from Medill, and I spoke to the American Legion. And there's a bunch of vets out here in the communities that are advocating for the medical marijuana and the gummies or the edibles. And like you're saying, they're too expensive, the taxes, or they can't get the cards.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. We should treat our veterans better than that. These
Yeah.
guys put their life on the line to go fight for our country and protect us. And we all did.
Right.
And the federal government isn't taking care of them like they promised.
Right. No, and they're not. And that's one of the biggest things that's super frustrating, right? Because they're always like, well, the VA. I said, no. I said, people see the jokes, right? People make shirts about it. The VA giving the veteran another opportunity to die for their country because hands down, it's true. I mean, look at what happened in Arizona, the freaking waiting rooms in Arizona. Veterans were dying in the waiting rooms waiting for it to be seen, right? And this is one of the things that I tell you guys about. You guys know I'm a huge network. I'm about networking and growing my community outside of Oklahoma, right? You guys have already seen it. I'm over 140 plus episodes in. Every one of those guys I stay in contact with on a regular basis. We talk about everything, right? If I got somebody that's stranded in California, hey, I don't know what part of California you're in, but I got a brother stranded in California. Do you know somebody, or can you get to him and help him out? Right? Because this is what it's about, is that we are supposed to support each other and help each other, right? And it's like I said, if we depend on the VA to provide us medicine, we're screwing ourselves, right? Because like I tell you guys already know, you guys know how adamant I am about cannabis, dude. I love cannabis. I love the amazing things that I benefit from using cannabis, dude. When I used cannabis, I was the best guy to be around. I said, it's so bad. It got so bad to where my kids, if I was angry, my kids were like, Dad, have you smoked today? I'm like, no. Can you go smoke, please? Yeah. So I go smoke, right? Because I'm more likable to be around, right? Everything's more chill, more relaxing, right? You know? And that's one of the things I tell you guys, whether it's psilocybin, whether it's cannabis, whatever it is, like, that's what a lot of people don't understand, right? That stigma that's put on cannabis, Congress put that stigma on it, right? Congress did it.
Reagan.
You know, they put the stigma on it, and it sucks, right? But you got to understand, using plant-based medicine has been around for thousands of years. Egyptians were using this when they built those ginormous pyramids that everybody sees. Yeah, they had back pain, they had leg pain, they had head pain. What do you think they used? They didn't use ibuprofen. They didn't use freaking, you know, Vicodin, Flexerol.
Yep.
You know, they didn't use any of that. They found plants in their area that help treat that, help treat those ailments they suffer from, right? And so that's one of the biggest things, guys, that I tell you about is that, dude, you have to work with your representatives. Does it suck? Do you get scared? Yeah, everybody gets scared talking to somebody new, right? I'm like, man, I never met Clint before, but look, he's running for U.S. Congress, and guess what? He's another jarhead. Have you guys ever thought, man, could I run for Congress?
Anytime.
Clint, tell these guys a little bit. Tell these guys a little bit about who you are and where you're coming from.
Okay, my name is Clint Johnson, and I am running for U.S. Congress District 2. I graduated Valiant High School in 1990. I went away to the Marine Corps. Was there just a little under 2 years.
Okay.
And I come off rappel tower and herniated disc in my back.
Oh, shit.
So they gave me a choice to stay in MRP for 9 months or going home.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I'm not staying in MRP. So I came home.
Right.
Got back home, got back a little better, and I went to the sheriff's department. And I got hired on as a reserve deputy, jailer, dispatcher, part-time. Worked my way up to full-time deputy sheriff on the street. And I was there for about 5.5 years. And you're really going to get a kick out of this one. I was a narcotics agent for 9.5 years for the state of Oklahoma. And I was about 3.5 years a field supervisor. And I went to Iraq for 2 years with the National Investigative Intelligence Agency. And I was there training the Iraqi police and how to do counter surveillance and intelligence and human trafficking and all that stuff. And we took the police out to show them how to do community-oriented policing. So that's my background. The reason I'm running is anybody sick of politicians?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, we do not need any more career politicians sent to Washington, D.C. All they do is sit there and lie to us, get rich off the American taxpayers. They get in trouble. They get sent home, live in their cushy houses the rest of their life. No, that doesn't happen. You know what needs to happen? The way we're going to break this and stop this is that guy goes to Washington, D.C., or that woman goes to Washington, D.C., she breaks the law, put her butt in jail.
Right.
And then whenever the next person runs for the office, they'll know if they go up there, they get put in jail too.
Right.
Don't screw up.
Yeah.
We need term limits on every politician.
Every politician.
Every one of them.
Every one of them, dude. Because I think that's the problem
The
that we
nation
have. Right?
wants term limits.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody. And my thing
70%
is,
are in favor of it.
and my thing is, right. So like the Senate needs term limits. They have to have
Okay.
term limits, right? House of Representatives have term limits, right?
No.
No, they don't have
Nope.
term limits either.
Uh-uh.
So there's the thing, dude. So this is the problem with our country, right? Why are
And
we?
they can bounce around.
Why are we so far back on all the rules and regulations, right? So if you look at the people who are sitting in Congress right now, whether it's House of Representatives or freaking Senate, these guys have been doing this shit for 40 plus years, dude.
And they ain't got it right yet.
And they haven't figured it out in the past 40 years. I mean, Biden, it took him 3 times of running for president before he became president of the United States. The other 2 times he lied, but nobody said anything about that, right?
Yeah.
He lied both times when he ran the first 2 times and didn't get it, right?
And plagiarized.
And plagiarized, dude. And this is one of the things, guys, and this is like Clint's saying, that people need to be punished, right? We're punished. If we do something, if we speeding or we drinking and driving, we're punished, right? But these people who are doing the same crap in front of the limelight aren't punished. There's nothing going on. There's nothing happening to these people, right? And it's super frustrating.
Laws than that.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, absolutely. No, they're breaking way worse laws than that. But that's the biggest thing, guys, is that these people who are sitting in Congress are so far, they're on that track mind of when they were younger, right? In the 60s and the 70s and the 80s. It's 2020, dude. It's 2020 plus, right? The things that happened in the 80s is not the same things happening now, right? The laws and regulations that happened in the 80s are not the same laws and regulations that are happening now in our country. And so one of the biggest things that, like you said, and that's my thing. These guys aren't going to vote to put term limits on themselves. Would you vote to put a term limit on your power that you have?
Of course not.
No, who would do that? Right?
I would.
Right? And
Well,
so,
some people have to, but
and that's the thing is that if we're able to get more veterans into politics, right? A lot of veterans are like, I hate politics. I don't want to deal with that. Dude, it sucks. That's what runs this country.
Right.
Politics is what runs this country. And so that's one of the things, guys, that you have to come to an understanding is like, how are you making a difference in your community, in your county, in your state, in your country?
You get involved.
Right.
can I ask the question of, if you get into office, the stigmatization,
No,
the stigmatization of me smoking a joint on a Friday and going to work on a Monday and pissing hot, that has to be taken care of. Somewhere that has to be an issue. Because I can eat hydrocodone, morphine, any of that.
Go
work on that aircraft.
on that day,
Not a problem.
that
I
day.
smoke a joint and piss hot Monday, even if you're busted, you're
Right.
fired.
Yeah.
But I just show you my script for morphine, or show you my script for hydrocodone, and I can work.
Now, does that work? Does that,
That was
the way it
workers.
is
That
now?
was workers' comp. Yeah,
Yeah,
workers
If
comp.
you have, if you have the card and you go in and they test you, can you show
You're
the card?
busted. Yeah,
You're
busted.
You're
Federal government.
still
federally
still fired.
illegal.
You're
Yeah,
fired.
you're still
It's
fired.
wrong. The stigmatization is wrong. Segmentation is wrong. I'll let him talk. He speaks.
No, absolutely, it is because I'm a federal employee. I work for the federal government, right? And one of the things they put me in for a top secret clearance, and I told them, at the last page of this 80-page document, it says, "Do you use an illegal substance?" I said, "What do you classify as illegal?" I went to my security man. I said, "What is classified as illegal?" He's like, "THC." I said, "Well, hell yeah, I use it. Here's my card." But it's not illegal in my state.
Right.
I'm a resident of Oklahoma.
Right.
I'm a resident in Oklahoma, and I'm legal within my rights as a citizen of Oklahoma. He said, "No, it's federally illegal, so you can't." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Are you?" I said, "Yeah, I use cannabis." I said, "I use cannabis," so I had to work with the Consolidated Adjudication Facility out of D.C. And I went back and forth against them. I said, "Look, this is bullshit that this is coming to this because I work as a federal employee." The Vice President of the United States self-identified on the Breakfast Club and said that she smokes cannabis. But did you stop her from getting her top secret clearance? No. She still has a top secret clearance and she's running the free world. And they didn't want to hear anything about it. Oh, no, well, that's different. Why is that different? Is she not a federal employee like myself?
Yeah.
She's a federal employee like me, making a six-figure salary off the taxpayers, off of you guys that are listening, making taxes. The taxes you pay are paying her salary. But it was okay for her to smoke weed and not be held to the same standard that I'm held to.
As you're expected to be.
As I'm expected to be, right? And so I fought them, right? They tried to fire me, and I said, nope, per your union agreement, it states here, if I self-identify, which I did, I didn't pop pot on a piss test because I'm not required to take your analysis. I self-identified and told you, and they said, so the outcome was 2 years probation. I'm coming up on 2
Are you
years.
shitting me?
2 years probation.
Yeah, it gets screwed.
So I've been sober. I have not used cannabis in the past 2 years. And so I just tell them that was my tolerance break. That was my tolerance break. That was my tolerance break.
I do want to be around you when that day comes.
When that
Invite
day
me to
comes.
the-
Yeah, absolutely. So that was my tolerance
be
break, right? Everybody needs a tolerance break, right?
Yeah.
Well, I got to the point I was smoking joints like cigarettes. I was like, I'm just smoking it just to smoke it, right? Because I enjoy smoking it, right? But that's the biggest thing. It's like James was saying here. So, like I said, I work for the federal government, and we have forklift operators operating all day long, day in and day out, 7 days a week, right? I tell my management, I said, so it's frowned upon for me to smoke a joint on my cigarette break, but this guy popped 3 Lortabs, that guy popped 2 Flexerol, and that guy popped, 3 morphines before he came to work to get on his forklift, so his back wouldn't hurt.
Right. Yeah.
He's operating under the influence.
Yeah.
He went to lunch, had 2 beers, and took 2 more Lortabs so he could finish out his shift. He gets off work and pops 5 more pills so that he can get through the rest of the day so he can go to bed to wake up to do it again. So he's averaging about 20 to 30 pills a day to be able to do his job. But God forbid I smoke a blunt on my cigarette on my lunch break to be able to tolerate your ignorance when you're speaking to me about something that I already know everything about and you have no idea.
Exactly.
Right? And if I go and piss and I piss hot because I smoked a joint on a Friday night when I wasn't going to work Saturday or Sunday and I pop hot on Monday,
Go party.
how are you going to fire me because this guy just popped all these pills before he came to work?
Exactly.
But he has a prescription. I have a prescription. The doctor prescribed me cannabis within my limits as a citizen of Oklahoma, right? And that's the biggest thing. And this is what we need is more representation like yourself running for Congress, right? Because once you get in there, that's going to be a big thing. I'm going to knock on your door. Hey, Clint, I don't like this. What can we do to fix this, right?
You don't have to knock my door, buddy. I'll be right up here to talk business.
Right, absolutely. And this is what it
I
is.
went and knocked on doors. They don't come.
They don't, right?
Or at least
You ain't
you
knocking
didn't
on
come
the
to
right
me.
doors.
Right.
Well, apparently I didn't.
What we're supposed to do,
They weren't home.
government is supposed to support the people,
Right.
not oppress them.
Right.
You know, we're there to back up the states and let them handle it.
Right.
We should be propping that up. But we have so much government overreach right now with
Yeah.
everything that's going on in this world that they're in everybody's everyday lives. And it's time to shrink the government, shrink their budget, stop sending money overseas, start taking care of our veterans and the people out here in the country.
In the country, right?
We spent $40 billion, or the Fed administration spent $40 billion, or sent $40 billion to Ukraine.
So far.
No, this was just last week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was
Yeah.
last week. I feel sorry for them people. I lived in war zone for 2 years. I feel sorry for those people.
No, I feel sorry for them too.
But that government is crooked.
Yeah.
And we've already proved that with that administration,
Yeah.
with his son. Okay?
Mhm.
And him.
And him, yeah. You know, when you have a corrupt administration like that, like I said, those people are the ones that are over there. I feel sorry for them, but I don't feel sorry for the individuals that are running the country because they got themselves in that position.
Yeah.
But then why are we being Big Brother?
And that's what I don't understand. That's one of the things that frustrated me because that's one thing I talked to my wife about, right? I was like,
Donations.
what pisses me off is that we sent all this money to this country. What has this country ever done for us?
Yeah.
Have they ever assisted us in any wartime
They
situation?
took a Biden out of this.
Have they?
sent him
Nobody
back.
got 13
Yeah,
soldiers
shit.
killed in Afghanistan.
Right, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like,
me off no end.
I'm like, what happened? Why are we sending money to this country that has never benefited us?
Exactly.
Right? Like if they were supplying us with something that would actually benefit our country, but no, let's drop the $40 billion in another country when the $40 billion could help the homelessness in our country, the kid that's going to bed hungry every night because their parents had something else better to do. Right? We're worried about taking care of these other countries, and then we're not worried about taking care of our own.
Right.
Right. And you guys have seen it. You guys are seeing the inflation right now. The inflation is going through the roof. Right. Our dollar ain't even nothing. You can go to another. You remember going to another country? The dollar was the almighty.
Right.
Like, hey man, the dollar give you $1,000 over here, right?
Yeah.
Heck,
Yeah,
I talked to a
that wasn't
guy
no
in Great Britain. I was buying something from Great Britain, and he was like, "Nah, dude." He said, "Your dollar's like 75 cents over here." I said,
Yeah.
"Are you fucking kidding me?"
Wait a
It's
while.
got-
I was like, "Are you kidding me?" He's like, "Nah, man." I was like, "I ain't coming back here no more, dude." There ain't no way, dude. I said, "No." I was super frustrated because our dollar should be the almighty dollar in the entire world, and
Yep.
right in the entire world, our dollar should be matched, if not dollar for dollar, more than their dollar, man.
Exactly.
And it should be. But when I saw that, I said, "This is ridiculous, dude. This is exactly where our country is going, right?" And this is the representation. I mean, and for you to actually say, "Hey, I want to run for Congress." What gave you? You just got tired of seeing the way our country is going, or
Well-
what was it? Did you all of a sudden you just wake up and said, "I'm gonna run for U.S. Congress"?
No, what happened? What happened was I seen what they did to Trump
Mhm.
back starting from 2017, and this pisses me off no end. They did a bogus investigation for 3.5 years,
Yeah.
put American taxpayers through hell,
Mm-hmm.
put Trump through hell. But take him aside for a second. They spent up to $75 million of taxpayer money
For a witch hunt.
for a witch hunt that
Right.
they already knew was a lie.
Right. They already knew it,
But
but they
no
knew it was a lie.
Exactly, but no one's holding their feet to the fire and
No.
putting them in jail.
No.
No one's responsible. Just like
Yeah, well,
Afghanistan when 13 soldiers got killed, no one's being held accountable for that.
Well, and the flip side of it, the same crap that they were pointing that investigation towards, if you go back and you look a little bit further, they're doing exactly what they were investigating him for and getting away with it. Nobody's
Yep.
doing anything about it.
Exactly.
No, nothing.
Yeah. Well, because they hold the majority right now. What I'm hoping in the midterm,
November.
we have a slaughter, and then we get a lot of like-minded people like us and everybody watching that just wants to go to work for the country.
Right. And
That's
that's,
what
the
we need.
biggest
We
thing.
need you guys. We need representatives to work for the. I don't mind you helping out other countries, but we're first.
Yeah, no,
We're
we
first.
have to,
You know, we
like
are-
all that
we gotta
money,
need
all
stability.
that money that apparently we just continue printing and printing and
Yeah.
printing and printing and printing, right? They keep printing it, and now it keeps going from $1. Now it's worth 80 cents, 70
cents,
cents,
yeah.
60 cents, right? And they keep printing it. If you don't keep printing it, keep
That's
putting it
where
back
we
into the
got-
country.
Yep.
Put it back into the country, right? That's the biggest thing, man, and that's what a lot of people don't understand, you know. And if we cannot take care of ourselves, that's one of the biggest struggles that we have, right? Is that When we don't take care of ourselves, that's one thing I tell my wife, because my wife's always about taking care of other people, but she never really takes care of herself. And I'm like, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Yep.
you cannot take care of other people if you can't take care of yourself. And if you are not at 100%, how are you going to help somebody else get to their 100%?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And us as a country, dude, like, I mean, there's a lot of crap that happens in this country, right? The whole mass shooting that just happened in Texas,
You know,
and everything like that, dude. The shit that's happening in our country. The thing is like you said, nobody's being held responsible for anything that's happening in our country, right?
and blame it on everybody else.
And they point fingers, right? They point fingers, and that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest misunderstanding that people have in our country is like, why is nothing being done? Why is nothing happening to these people? You know, somebody needs to stand up, right? And this is where I think us as veterans, we don't tolerate bullshit,
Exactly.
right? We don't tolerate bullshit. We call it the way we see it.
That's why we're in this.
You know what I'm
right
saying?
now.
Yep.
That's why we call it like we see it. If somebody's blowing smoke, we're gonna be like, dude, you're full of it. Stop lying.
Dude, I never been to the Capitol, and like I was 3 weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
I never stepped foot on there. Like you said,
Yeah,
people
yeah.
need to go. I never been.
Right?
They pissed me off enough that I sent those flyers around, and you know I've been there. When I was second and fifth floor. You people at the Capitol, you know all the ladies that were there and all the representatives that were gone on Friday afternoon. Good
Every
vacation.
Friday. Ain't
Everybody's
ain't
gone.
nobody ever there
No,
Fridays.
it's not-
Everybody's
there.
gone on Fridays.
Well,
Yeah.
you brought it up a while ago. A perfect example. We're sending money overseas, sending money overseas. Stuff that we don't need to send money over. But yet we have a schoolhouse that's not protected, and why don't we take that money, shut
we
the
have veterans taking care of the schools.
That's
running the
who, too.
schools.
Right.
whatever we
Our
do,
veterans have protected
harden the
schools.
schools, get people in there that's going to protect the kids.
Right.
That's what we need. But that money that they send in overseas and stuff, shut that off, and that would pay for the officers and stuff. And that's
That
cool.
would pay for the for the law enforcement here. You know
Even
what I'm
didn't pay
saying?
for all of it.
Our
It'd take a
government
big
has
chunk
money
out of
for
it.
what it
Exactly.
wants
Pay for a
money
huge.
But I'll tell you another way to
Cut their
put more
salary.
money in it.
Cut the salary.
Cut salaries and do away with benefits, make them start living just like the rest of society does.
They
Yeah.
won't do it.
Yeah.
They won't do it though.
You
That's
know
the
what?
thing.
That's bullshit. Give me an opportunity. It takes one person to start change.
Well,
That's all it is.
That's what I'm doing
And
right
that's
now.
what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do. Like it's like Clinton said, it takes one person to make the difference, right? It takes one person, right? I don't know if you guys ever know, but in the Marine Corps, that's one thing they always taught us. Only one. It's only one person that will fuck you in the long run or benefit you in the long run. Like it never fails.
Exactly.
And Clinton knows that. Remember they say it only takes one. You're like, motherfucker, we're going back to the pit. We're going back to the pit because it was one motherfucker. You know, you're like, oh, but and that's the thing though. Even in our country, right? It just takes one person to stand up to say something, right? Because there's one thing I talked to you guys about probably a year ago. I had it on my episode, right? Who's going to be that guy that looks up at the sky, right? Nobody's going to. If one person's standing there looking at the sky, people are just going to walk by him. You start getting 2 or 3 other people, and they all looking up at the sky. People are going to start stopping and stop looking. What are these guys looking at, right? This is the thing, dude. This is the thing I tell you guys on a regular basis. It takes one person to allow the voice to be heard, right? Look at Tony Landry out in Louisiana. He's in Congress every day. You got David Bass out of freaking Texas. You got freaking Edidine Fontana and Al Byrons and everybody else from the Veteran Action Council in their state. You got Rico out of freaking Arizona with the Weed for Warrior projects. Dude, it takes one person to speak up and more people to start tagging along. Be like, I like your mission. I like your drive. Why do you think they call me up and say, hey, Sergeant G, I need you to shoot a show for our U.S. representative?
Sure.
Right? Because it takes one voice to be heard, right? Whoever, if you
Like,
As long
start
as you
speaking
scream
up,
loud enough, somebody's gonna hear you.
somebody's going to start hearing you. They're going to be like, what are you talking about? Oh,
We have
really?
We have to have numbers.
It's strength by numbers. And us as veterans, dude, you already know that. Strength by numbers, you can conquer anything in this entire world, man.
Exactly.
So for you, Clint, for you up
There's
there,
another number.
so for you, Clint, your mission to be running for, I mean, because because you're from what, a small podunk town here in Oklahoma.
Tahlequah? Yeah.
Tahlequah, Oklahoma.
Beautiful
Small
place.
podunk.
Beautiful place.
Beautiful, but it's like this big, dude. Like literally, it's this big, you know?
Yep. Exactly.
But for you, like I tell you guys, I don't care where you're from, where you live. Have you ever thought about, I want to run for U.S. Senate. I want to run for Congress. I want to run for House of Representatives. I want to run for something in this country because I believe that we can do better for our country, right? And that's one of the biggest things. You know, talking with Joe Lewis running for House here in Oklahoma City. He for representative of Oklahoma City. He said the same thing, dude. He said we need veterans sitting in Congress. because those are the only guys that are going to understand, like, oh, I'm tired of this nonsense. Regardless if you Democrat, you Republican, Libertarian, whatever you are, I think if you get a bunch of veterans together, we're gonna butt heads, we're gonna argue, we're gonna scream, we're gonna yell, but we're gonna come to a conclusion and say
And the
this
job's
will
gonna get
work.
done.
At the
This
end,
will work. At the end, this will work. We can do this, right? They're gonna be pissed. I don't like that out of this. He's gonna cuss back. He's gonna cuss back. We're gonna cuss, but we brothers. That's what we do is cuss and scream at each other, and then we sit down, throw all our cards on the table, and say, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this, and we can do this.
Brothers and sisters.
And sisters,
disrespect.
brothers and sisters, and all the cards will come on the table and say, okay, let's do this, 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 and this will become law, and we agree upon it, right?
Exactly. Right.
Because we're gonna cuss. We'll cuss, fight, and scream.
What's the problem?
But we're going to have an agreement. We're going to agree to something that everybody be like, this will be the best benefit for everybody, right?
Well, and see, that's what these politicians forget. They're up there to do a job for the people, not up there for their personal agenda or anything else.
Yeah.
And they have egos.
Mm-hmm.
Get the egos out of it. This isn't about them.
Right.
This isn't about me. This is about the American citizens who need help.
Right.
And that's why I'm running, because I don't see anything happen. Democrats and Republicans both,
Yeah.
independents in Washington D.C. are fighting, and nothing's being done for anybody.
Right.
Like you were talking
It's
about, we
gotta
can
change.
at least we can get in a room. If we're going to scream and cuss at each other, we can still sit down and have a civil conversation and get this stuff worked out.
Get it all worked out, right?
Yeah.
We can get it all worked
And
out.
make progress.
Yeah,
instead of-
Exactly.
And you
instead of
guys
just
know,
sitting there
Well, here we are.
banging your head against the
A
wall.
veteran. We need help, politicians. We need you to help us get these cannabis laws in favor of us so we can medicate. Please help us.
And
Thank you.
When you talk, when you talk about representatives, we need to do away with career politicians, folks.
absolutely.
When I talk about politicians, I'm not a politician. Never have been, never will be. I'm a citizen legislator, because I don't care about nothing but helping people. They care about money, they care about power, and everything else. When we get up there in Washington D.C., and they walk up and say, "Hey, buddy, let me tell you how it works." No, get your hand off me. This hasn't worked a long time. I'll figure it out and I'll make it work.
Right.
Congress has a 80 people, or the population believes 80% of the Congress, 80% of the population believes Congress doesn't work,
It doesn't.
but 90% of them keep getting elected.
Yes.
Because of big
Because
money.
of big money.
Big money.
Big money.
Big
We got to
money.
get big
And no
money out of
term
politics.
limits. And no term limits.
And I haven't taken any money on my campaign. I spent $5,000, up to $4,000 some dollars. The reason I did that is because all these politicians are being bought by lobbyists, billionaires, special interest groups, and everything else. When they get elected locally and they go to Washington D.C., how do you think they're going to vote?
Right.
The way that
The way that
corporation.
corporation paid them.
Yep.
We've got, our founding fathers never meant for us to spend $1.5 million on a campaign, which they're saying that's how much it cost me to run.
Fuck.
They never meant to that. They meant for you to get in front of people and let people make decisions.
And that's how it should be.
Yep.
It should be. It's the people. It's the people.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people don't understand.
I've been knocking on doors.
It's the people. Who votes these people in? The people.
Exactly.
Right. And it's like you said, because they even have it. You'll see TikToks and Facebook, and there'll be videos about. Was watching one guy. You want to learn how to buy stocks? Find out which politician bought which stocks at which time and what they're voting on.
Exactly.
I said, this is bullshit. Dude. This is not how this should work,
Nope.
right? But it does. That's how it works. You want to get rich like a politician? They even have a website to show you
Insider.
every stock that every representative has in their portfolio, right? And they said, look at what they bought, who they bought it from, and what's being voted on to make a determination on how you want to buy your stocks. I was
That
like,
doesn't even count-
oh
that doesn't even
shit.
count their relatives.
No, not their relatives or anything, right?
In law enforcement, we always say, if you want to find a crook, follow the money.
Yep.
These electric vehicles they're trying to push on us,
Uh-huh.
where do you think those minerals come from?
China.
China. Who do you think is investing in those? Our politicians.
Oh, we already know.
Yeah.
That's why they're pushing it so hard to put the batteries in there. But here's the deal. They don't understand that you can't do away with oil and gas. Everything, this table made out of
The
oil.
tires on those electric cars are made from petroleum.
Batteries are made from petroleum
Yeah.
products. But here's what gets me. What are they going to do with them batteries once they wear out?
Right.
Because I researched it. They need
Can't
to do
recycle them.
They can't. Well, they were going to try to
I think
get
they
the
can
minerals back out.
recycle 40% of the minerals are reclaimable.
Right. Well, if they
after
burn
the
it.
battery is expended.
Right. If they burn it.
Yeah.
But it's not worth the money to do that. And the other one's caustic, which melts the plastic, but it puts off so much fumes people can't work around it. So how big of a idiots are they
No
to
shit.
think that we're going to do away with gas and oil?
You can't.
We are an energy based country.
Mm-hmm.
We should stay that way.
No, yeah, absolutely.
I'm all
Absolutely.
about it. Well,
You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
glad.
No, absolutely. You know, and that's what I tell them. Everybody's like, look at the inflation of this. I said, this is all part of their plan. That first thing when he took office, what did he say? We're going to become a green country.
Yep.
Right? How else do you become a green country? You raise everything up so
Higher
that you
than
have to,
Go green.
right? So you have to go green, right? I was like, gas is going to be high. It's going, you know,
But the
it's
grid won't
inflation.
support the electric
It
vehicles.
won't.
Yeah.
The grids will
Yeah.
not. Even the Pacific Electric Company out of California already
Yeah,
said
there's no way.
you got one or the other. You either cool your house or you charge your car. Well, I'm gonna cool my fucking house,
Yeah.
dude. I'll find somewhere else to charge my car then or something, right? And it's ridiculous, dude. And so it's like you said, these politicians are so crooked. It's disgusting how crooked these politicians are, and that's one of the things that
But it's not all. I mean,
you know,
it's
not all
yeah,
of
not
them,
all.
but I
There's some
mean,
good ones up there.
there's enough in major places that it's killing us.
yeah, and you know what I'm saying.
When
The
you've
biggest
been
thing is
for
that
50 years.
they're needing our support as well. Those ones that are good, that are fighting for the greater good of
I
our
agree.
country,
You
right?
got to stand up and give your voice to them,
Right.
and speak up for
They
them.
need to speak
Exactly.
speak to us too.
You know,
We'll know who to vote for if you speak up.
and that's the biggest thing, right? It's like Clinton's saying, he's
and be
doing
honest.
grassroots. It's a part of a grassroots movement, right? The fight for federal legalization in our country is part of a grassroots movement,
It
guys.
is.
This is what it's about. It's about veterans coming together and saying, "Hey, why are we not fighting for medical freedom?" Right? You guys fought in the war for 20 years in Afghanistan and Iraq for the past 20 years. That war is over. You're now home now, and guess what? You're still fighting your war. It's fighting for medical freedom, right? That's one of the biggest things, guys, is understanding that you have to fight for medical freedom in our country, right? The war is not over, right? We don't want to continue going to the VA and say, "Hey, I need this" or "I need that," right? Because you know the VA, if your VA is anything like my VA, all I got to tell them is like, "Hey, these muscle relaxers ain't working. I need something else." They're gonna prescribe me
Yep.
another muscle relaxer,
Right.
dude.
Right.
You know, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, and this is one thing that we talked about, dude. It's like I talk to a lot of you brothers and sisters on a daily basis, and you guys are talking about I take 20, 30, 40 pills a day just to function as a normal person, right?
Yeah.
Just to function as a normal. And it's kind of it's kind of disheartening because it's like,
This dude's gonna get it.
why do I got to take so many damn pills to live a normal life? To wake up in the morning, you pop a pill. To go through your day, you pop another pill. To get out of the day, you pop another pill. To go have dinner, you pop another pill.
Exactly.
To go to bed, you pop another pill.
Big Pharma likes it.
And it's like, what the crap, dude, is going on? Why is it that we have to take so many pills, dude? And so
He says grassroots. No, it's the grass flower. It's a grass flower movement,
that's exactly
not the
right.
roots.
Oh, you don't care.
When you were talking about the VA a while ago,
Uh-huh.
are you all aware that they're trying to close Muskogee VA down?
Are they really?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah,
no,
they're trying to
he
close it
goes.
down. And now I found out this morning, the one in Medill, or down there, no, where were we? Durant. They're trying to close that down too.
Yeah, because did you hear? Okay, you guys are aware of the money that Biden sent over to Ukraine, right? The 40
Where-
billion.
Got to come from somewhere.
They said part of that $40 billion came from the VA. The money that they're giving to the VA to help the veterans, they took from the VA to help fund Ukraine.
And that's down
And
the
part of that is part of closing VAs in our country. We already have enough problem trying to get into a
Yeah.
fucking VA appointment, right?
Right.
For me, like I told you guys remember, I told you guys a couple months ago that I went through, and I was supposed to have a counseling session. They gave me another doctor, another therapist. She called me up. I was at work. She called me up, and I saw the appointment. I said, an hour and a half? So what kind of fucking VA appointment? It's an hour and a half. And I was at work, and I was like, yeah, I'll take the call. I took the call, went downstairs, and I was like, what is this for? She's like, oh, this is your initial VA appointment. I said, no. I did this 10 years ago when I got out of the service. When I got out of active duty, I had to go through a 2-week class to get a therapist because they said they wanted to see if I really required a therapist after 2 weeks.
Oh my
I was like, okay. So I
Oh,
went
Lord.
through a 2-week course. It was a 2-week course I had to do. Luckily, I wasn't working because it was in the middle of the day. I was like, how are veterans supposed to do this if they're working?
You can't.
How the fuck am I supposed to go to a freaking hour-long class every day for 2 weeks?
Yeah, can't
You
do
know
it.
what I'm saying? In the middle of the day, right? And so I told her, I said, this pisses me off, right? And I said, you are upsetting me because I already told my doctors that I've done this already. I don't need to do an intro into psychology. Like, I don't need, I said, I've already had 2 psychiatrists and like 4 therapists. Like, I've done this already. Look at my medical record. It's there.
I've done it.
And so I told her, and she was like, "Do you want to reschedule?" I said, "Yeah, let's reschedule this. How far out am I going to have to wait?" This was back in March, I think it was, March or May. It was in March. I said, "How far out how far out to reschedule?" She's like, "June 30th." I'm like, "It's March. You're telling me I gotta wait to June to get a reschedule?" I said, "For a therapy session?"
Yeah.
A therapy session that you guys tell me I need. Yeah, I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
So, it ain't an emergency.
So in May they called me and said, "Hey, we're calling to reschedule you." It was like the end of May, or close to the end of May, and I was like, "All right." She's like, "Do you just want to see a counselor out in town?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. It makes it a lot easier, right?" I've never got a phone call again. It's fucking June. I still ain't never got a phone call to get scheduled for a therapist out in town. I was like, holy shit, dude! Like, this is our VA system working at its finest, dude.
Well, you know how it is to go to VA hospital. And it's hard to get veterans to the hospital.
Right? Yeah.
And if you take that away where they have to drive to Tulsa or Fayetteville or Dallas, they're not going to go.
They're not, because like I said, we're here in Oklahoma City. You're in Tahlequah. Tahlequah is what, like an hour?
2.5 hours.
2.5
Yeah,
hours
there's nothing
away.
down there.
Are you gonna drive fucking 2.5 hours to Oklahoma City to go see a therapist?
Nope.
Fuck no. Are you gonna drive what is it, another hour and a half to Tulsa?
Nope.
You're gonna drive an hour and a half to Tulsa? Fuck that. I don't even want to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a doctor. Fuck, if I gotta drive that far, fuck that. I live 30 minutes away. I'm like, fuck that. I ain't seeing a doctor. Fuck that. I'm 30 minutes away. I'm like, I ain't going. Fuck that. It ain't worth it, right? And so that's one of the things, guys. That's one of the things, guys, is that we are needing representation, dude. We absolutely need representation in our country, right? We need to be able to stand up and allow our voices to be heard, right? That's one of the biggest things right now, right? There's a big fuss about all kinds of shit going on in our country. There's a huge fuss about all kinds of things going on in our country. But are you going to be the one that stands up and say, I'm done. I want to fight for what's right. You know, and you, Clint, running for Congress, that's one of the biggest things that you're fighting for, right? Is to say, we need to fight for what's right. Right. We need to fight for this country. We need to fight for our freedoms, right? Because they're being taken away.
Exactly. And every soldier that has fought, bled, or died didn't ever plan this country to be this way. Never even thought they'd see it that way. And every soldier that's ever died is rolling around the grave right now because of what they've done. You know, we defended this country. I worked for the government over 20 years.
Right.
It's hard. I hate to say this, but I don't trust them anymore.
No,
Well, we need trust back, and you will be a start.
Yeah,
we need
and it's a
honest
start.
people.
It's a start, right?
We need
Because,
honest.
like we said, right, it's a movement.
Yeah. Can I plug VetMaps real fast?
No, go absolutely.
Reason why VetMaps exists is because IOD couldn't find another way besides cannabis. I had to have something, opioids. I couldn't do it. And now I've started a thing called VetMaps for veterans to get their cards for free. Okay, in Oklahoma and other states, we went to Texas, different states, different things, but we want to be nationwide. If you have somebody in your state that wants to be representative of VetMaps and you want to try to get cards for your state, let's do what we're doing. Join our network of trying to get veterans cannabis for free. Not free, but inexpensive. Free would be cool. I'll shut up.
They want to regulate the marijuana, right?
Right.
But yet they leave the borders wide open for cocaine, and what's the one that's killing everybody? Fentanyl.
And
But everything
xylazine.
And so all this stuff's coming across, and they're not doing anything about that. But they want to shut you all down.
Right.
Well, they're not shutting it down. They're just making it expensive.
Yeah, expensive or shut you down. Either one. But
Either way, I mean, it's what they want to do. Right?
Deter us,
Because
yeah.
they want to steer us away from a plant.
Yep.
It's plant-based medicine, dude. Plant-based medicine, like I said, has been around for thousands of years.
And it can
This is one of the things that people don't understand. Like during World War II, a lot of the animals were fed hemp, right? And that's how we rejuvenated our endocannabinoid system, because the meat that the cows were eating hemp. You eat the cows, which has the CBD in it, the hemp in it, to help rejuvenate your endocannabinoid system, right?
Right.
You're not doing that now, dude. They're injecting all kinds of shit in the meats and foods and stuff now, right?
Yep.
Especially if you're not buying local, if you're not going to a local butcher, if you buy it from the store, they're injecting it with God knows what. You know,
Yep.
I've been watching.
steroids.
I love TikTok, dude. You guys know I love TikTok. I love watching stupid shit, right? There's one girl going on right now. She's from Arizona, and she's buying chicken breast, and it says it'll be like 5 pounds, and she weighs it out, and it's like 4 pounds, and she's like, "You just charged me for an extra pound of meat that I didn't get." And so she emailed them. They're like, "Oh shit, well we don't know." So they give her a credit, a $20 credit, like a gift card or whatever, to go buy more meat. I'm like, "Why?" So she went back and she bought more meat, and she weighed it out. And she's like, "It's not weighing what the fuck you guys are telling me, because you pay for the price, right? Price per pound, right?" She's like, "I'm not getting my money's worth out of this," and I was like, this is where our country is going, dude.
That's why you need more guys like me that raise our own. We
Right.
raise our own chickens, our own pigs, our own beef, our own ducks, our
Right.
own turkeys.
Right.
We raise it and butcher
You
it
have to, right?
ourselves.
That's why you work
Just
with
'cause
your
I wanna
local,
know what I'm eating,
Right.
what my kids eating, what my wife's eating.
and that's how you support your local butchers, your local farmers, right? I buy my cows. I have a guy I buy my cows from. I'll buy half a steer.
Yeah.
Freaking every year I buy half a steer, dude.
Yep, slaughter.
And it'll last me and my ginormous family that year. And they already called me and say, "Hey, you want another half?" Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
It'll be ready. It'll be ready in October. Okay. I still got 2 deep freezers full of beef still. Still. I was like, I gotta eat a lot of fucking beef before that cow
No,
comes.
yeah.
Because I ain't gonna have no room. I ain't gonna have no room for my
You
beef.
should buy them down to that
Right. But that's what it's about, is support.
But see,
You have to support your
You
local.
can take that, what you didn't use, you can always barter it
Oh, yeah.
at farmers markets, or
Yeah.
well, not at the market, but with
Yeah, with other
for
farmers and
corn
stuff. Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay, I'll
Absolutely.
give you a pound of pot for. No,
Hey, let me ask you this too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you think that they class it all together, drugs? Okay.
Mhm.
I think where you get a back stigma on this thing is where they're bringing in all this cocaine and marijuana and everything in, and they're grouping it all together and
Yeah,
wanting to say, "Oh,
they do.
these are all dangerous drugs." So, but the marijuana thing that I've talked to veterans about, smoking it, edibles, whatever, they've tried it, and they want it. You know, they like it, and they're saying all this other stuff, these pills and everything, they're pushing on them. No, but I think where we're getting the stigma is from all the other dope. They're just classifying in one, and that's why they're saying all dope's bad. Whether it's
Yeah.
marijuana, cocaine,
until
or
they
anything.
level it a different class.
Exactly.
It gets thrown up there.
Marijuana's down here when you have PCP
Yeah,
and everything
yeah,
here. So
And honestly, marijuana should be below alcohol.
exactly.
Yeah,
Way
absolutely.
below.
Yeah,
I
I'd rather. I'll tell
There's
everybody
no
this.
comparison.
Being a
Yeah.
police officer, and Stevie's police officer too. I'd rather see someone if they do it. I'd rather see someone driving down the road smoking a joint than a 6-pack beer.
Yeah.
Because I've worked so many wrecks with drunks that's killed people, and the drunk never gets killed.
Never.
Ain't that
I
incredible?
take it back.
Sometimes.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
Very rarely.
The
is
innocent
drunk
people
agent.
They are
Yeah.
the luckiest people on the face of the earth.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. So we've arrested, but I've never arrested anybody high on weed before driving down the road.
Right.
And I've taken it out of the car before and stuff, but they were doing 10 mile an hour in a 45.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
why you going so slow?
But it's not. I understand. And back then I didn't understand. I classified it all together too.
Mhm.
But now that I'm out talking to the veterans and everything, and how this has helped them, because this is recent that it's come through.
Right.
Instead of doing it illegally and stuff, we finally got it to where you can get legalized for medical
As long
marijuana
as you're not a federal employee.
as long as you're not
Right.
Better
And that's got to. The stigmatization's got to stop.
exactly.
That's got to stop.
Yeah. But
If they're under the influence, they come to work. Bust them. If they piss hot and they smoke Friday, give them a break. What the hell? What's the problem?
and
Sorry.
if they're driving down the road high,
I
DUI. I mean,
Yeah.
but and this is what gets me too. This is a personal choice. You want to smoke weed, smoke weed. The government shouldn't be able to tell you. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Because we're all over 18 years old. We have our own choices to make
And serve this country.
and serve this country. And if we hurt ourselves, that's on us. It ain't on the government. So what do they care about if you're smoking weed or not?
That's the biggest thing. This is what I tell people, right? So that's the big, like you were saying, right? So in Congress, they have all these laws in place, right? But they don't really govern anything, right? Because what they say, oh, it's state dependent. It's state dependent. It's state dependent. Well, no shit. So why is it federally illegal if it's state fucking dependent? Because whenever they vote to legalize it, it's still state dependent if they allow it in their state,
Exactly.
right? And so this is what a lot of people. This is why I tell you guys have got to make a movement in your state, because even when it gets passed federally, it's still state dependent if they will allow it in the state.
Right.
And this is why I don't understand why it's up to Congress to freaking schedule it. I don't understand that, because it's state dependent. And so this is why we have this movement, this grassroots movement that's going around our country right now. Because it's not just us fighting for legalization,
No.
right? There's other people like us in other states fighting for
VetMaps
federal
in Texas,
legalization.
Stu Box,
Right.
California, Florida, you got Senior Stoner. We're maybe getting him. You know him, or makes those big pipes. We're going
Louisiana.
nationwide with VetMaps. Louisiana, yeah, we're going
Larry
nationwide with
Bagley
it.
in Louisiana. He's the
Yeah.
Representative from where I grew up.
Yeah.
He's fighting for it.
So we're going every state.
And it's going.
VetMaps is
It's
going to be
moving.
I
every
think
state.
once we get started, I think we're going to bring a lot more politicians, a lot more people on board that's elected offices.
Right.
You know, and it only, like I said a while ago, it only takes one to start.
That's it.
And if I get in Congress, if I'm elected, you know, if I have the honor of getting up there, I'm going to do everything I can to help veterans out. Everybody, you know, we're supposed to work for, but veterans are more, they're near and dear to me because I was one. I'm a veteran, and I've seen so much stuff happen to my veterans overseas. You know, it's just terrible. So
Absolutely.
we have to take care of them, and the United States government isn't taking care of them.
They're not.
When you spend $40 billion sent overseas, but you got starving, homeless vets on the street in California and everything, and they don't take care of that, that's wrong. Shut the border down. Take that money that we've been sent overseas and start taking care of the people.
Right.
That's how hard is your job to do.
Right. That's it.
They act like it's rocket science.
Right.
Well, we're influxing 100,000 people right now every month into our country. If you can't take the ones care here now, how are you going to take care of the ones that are coming?
Well, and then
That's the
We're-
other
we're-
thing is
we're
you have to
hurting.
take care of that.
We're hurting.
but letting them in
Yeah.
is going to run our food supply short,
We already know.
housing,
Medical.
everything, medical, everything,
It's got to stop.
and the government's giving that to them.
Giving it.
Stop them programs. That's stupid.
Mm.
If you come in the United States, come legally.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the ports of entry. But if you cross our borders illegally, you get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And your children get taken away just like they did. But now they want, did y'all hear about that $500,000 they wanted to pay
Oh, yeah.
the families?
Oh, gotcha.
You didn't hear about that?
Yeah, they wanted reparation for the families who got separated.
Separated from the
Yeah.
kids.
Well, guess what? My grandfather's dead in Germany, 1945. Nazis got him. Give me some separation. Appreciate
My,
that.
Exactly.
my
I'm
grandparents,
just saying.
my grandmother and grandfather both immigrated here before World War II. They came in through the port of New Orleans, became citizens. My grandfather joined the U.S. Army and went right back for World War II.
Yep.
Through D-Day.
Yep.
Survived it and came home and raised his family.
Incredible.
If we can do it the right way,
Do it.
by God, they all can.
Yeah.
Anybody. I don't care what border you cross.
No, absolutely.
Well, and I'm the
Do
type
it the
of
right
person,
way.
But we appreciate you running. Really do.
Well,
I
I
appreciate you
appreciate-
being
yeah.
honest enough to come and talk to us as a veteran and about our needs.
well,
I wish others would. I'm available.
I appreciate you guys having me.
No, absolutely. So yeah, we're getting close to the end of the show. How do you want to sign off with these guys? How do you want to let the audience know about you and your movement and stuff like that?
Clint Johnson, June 28th for Congress. And I know respect and trust is earned, not given. If you give me the opportunity to be a congressman, I guarantee you I'll stand in the office 24/7 trying to gain your respect and trust. And while we'll be transparent and make the government transparent.
Clint, I appreciate you taking the opportunity to be here with us, brother.
I appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
Devil Dog, to be able to do this, right? And be able to come and allow my audience to know, hey, movements are happening.
Yep.
Are you going to get on the train? Or are you
100%.
going to wave at us and tell us bye?
Nope.
Right? Because one of the things is that we have got to get on the train and allow this train to be running, dude, because we're tired. We're sick and tired of the way our politicians and our Congress is running this country, right? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I've had the wonderful opportunity of having Noah, James, and Clint here, man.
Having
And then the
Jim
wonderful
Kim-
opportunity to allow
Jim
us
and
to be able to
Kim,
shoot
let
this
them
amazing
shoot.
show.
Jim and Kim, the owners, Life Organics.
Life Organics
Thank
here
you,
here
guys.
in Norman, Oklahoma, dude. It's been amazing. I appreciate the honor of being able to do this, to shoot the show here with these wonderful guests as well. Like I said, man, it's a movement, right? I tell you guys, how are you building your community? Dude, I just got to shoot a freaking show in a dispensary in Oklahoma, in Norman, Oklahoma, dude. Can't get much better than this, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us and enjoying our time together.
Can I say one more thing?
Yep.
Most of your politicians hard to get hold of.
Mhm.
And my number is 918-316-4043.
And he's not hard to get a hold of.
If you need me at 2 o'clock on a Saturday morning, you call me. I'll answer the phone. Not some aide, not some other person. It'll be me. Because
Awesome.
if I'm elected to office, you all expect you to hold me and be able to, raise your concerns with me.
Right.
That's my number. Call me anytime.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And like I said, in the description, you guys will have all his information, how to get in contact with him in the description, however you listen to this, whether it's on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora, freaking even on YouTube. I tell you, I'm everywhere. If I'm not where you're listening, let me know so I can make sure it gets there so you guys can listen to me. But it'll be in the description box on how to get a hold of him and how to be looking out. So here in Oklahoma, Tuesday, June 28th is the time to vote. for everybody.
District 2, get out and
District
vote.
2, get out and vote. Make sure you get out and vote for this veteran here, because veterans, we're everywhere. It don't matter what state you're in. Veterans are everywhere, and
We
we need
need
to be
you.
supporting each other on a daily basis.
Yeah, we
man.
all need each other.
We need you.
Like I tell you guys on a daily basis, man. Don't forget, if you go and smoke, smoke responsibly, but enjoy your time while you're smoking. You don't get in trouble. It's not punishment, dude. Enjoy the relaxation and chill out, man. Remember, guys, we love you. We're always here for you. Reach out to us. Reach out to me. Noah did. You reached out to me. Reach out to me, dude. I'll answer. I
Only
swear I
takes
will.
one to make a difference.
That's all
That's
it
right.
takes, man. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. Remember, guys, here at the Stone Vet, we got your six.
My guns like onyx, dressed in camo with ammo for every situation I handle. They got us marching and stepping by my platoon, you get trampled. If it ain't raining, we ain't training. Nothing changed by complaining. I adapt and overcome. I make the best out of situations. I stay alert for my enemies trying to